Hi, Papa here. Remember when I showed you that drawing that I made about subduction? Well, here's a better picture of it from the book. You can see that that ocean crust, which is this black line right here, is subducting underneath a continent. And it's creating a stratovolcano with the three kinds of magma in it. The light colored at the top, the speckly intermediate color in the middle, and the black color at the bottom. That is not just one volcano, it's a whole line of volcanoes, because when subduction occurs, when a piece of ocean crust breaks and goes underneath another piece of ocean crust or a continent, it's along a vastly long line, maybe hundreds of miles long. So the ocean crust is moving, in this case from right to left. What is making this ocean crust move? Well, let's go look at the other side of this coin, the subduction coin. We're going to look at the rifting coin. This is from the book, by the way. Okay. Sorry. Here's a supercontinent, Rodinia. A supercontinent means that just all the land crust in the world is in one large continent, and all the ocean crust in the world is all together also. Well, this land crust, all this giant supercontinent land crust, is like it's laying on top of the hot molten mantle, and that's like putting a lid on a pot that's on a burner. It gets hotter, much hotter, and that causes convection currents, which are just swirling heat-oriented currents in the mantle. It basically causes the mantle to boil, so to speak, underneath the continent. And here's that process beginning to happen. Mantle hotspot is what they call it. When the mantle boils on a spot, it's called a hotspot, but it's not just a spot. It's a huge long line, many hundreds of miles long. And in this case, this mantle hotspot is burning up underneath the supercontinent Rodinia, and it's going to split it in two, going to break it. Okay, here is what happens later. The hot magma boiled up and split Rodinia continent into two. There's a continent over here, we're calling it Laurentia. That's not important right now. And then there's a continent over here, we'll call that Africa. Well, that is rifting. And rifting, what rifting does is it produces, see the black stuff here? That's ocean crust. Rifting produces ocean crust. Ocean crust is made out of basalt lava and its underground equivalent, which is called gabbro magma. And underneath that, there's some rock that we call ultramafic rock, dunite or peridotite, but we won't worry about that now. Mainly, we're talking about basalt lava and gabbro, its underground equivalent. So new lava, new ocean crust is being made and pushed out on both sides. And now you can see, as the ocean crust grows, the other end of the ocean crust is pushing up against a continent or another piece of ocean crust, and it breaks and subduction happens. Those are the two forces that operate in geology, the tectonic plates. You start off with a supercontinent. It's like putting the lid on a pot, and that makes the mantle boil. When the mantle boils, it boils up and splits the supercontinent into smaller continents, producing basalt lava, which is also ocean crust, basalt lava and gabbro magma, which is ocean crust. And that ocean crust pushes out and causes subduction on the other side of an ocean. The ocean grows, by the way. What used to be a supercontinent, this rifting process puts an ocean in between. That's why if you want to find this rifting place right now that's associated with North America, you have to go to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. and that's where the Great Rift, they call it the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. It's hundreds and thousands, maybe even thousands of miles long, that runs north and south through the whole Atlantic Ocean. You can go to Iceland and see where it comes up on land, this rift. And it's actively rifting right now, making new ocean crust, and that's pushing our North American continent to the west, and that's pushing it over the Pacific Ocean plate, especially in Northern California, Oregon, and Washington, and then that's producing the Cascade Range of volcanic islands, which includes St. Helens. Okay, that's all for today. Papa out.